It was a hot, sunny morning in Ouagadougou, May 2025. President Ibrahim Traoré was going through routine papers until one file changed all that. His Colonel Sawadogo, the intelligence advisor, entered with a sealed folder. Mr. President, we have intercepted highly sensitive information regarding secret American operations in Africa. Traoré opened the folder and sensed the weight of what he was holding in his hands. What was in it? Classified reports on American companies' illegal gold mining in Burkina Faso, with links to armed militias and disgusting emails with U.S. political figures. How did we obtain this? He wished to know. Counter-terrorism intercepts, Sawadogo replied. They're paying armed militias to secure these illegal sites. President Traoré was stunned. He had been promising his people transparency and sovereignty for 3 years. Now he had a choice to make. Come clean and spark an international scandal, or keep quiet and betray his people. Half a world away, Melania Trump sipped her morning coffee at Mar-a-Lago, unaware that her world was about to be turned upside down. In the meantime, in Burkina Faso, President Traoré called his cabinet into an emergency session. The ministers were stunned. This can destroy relations with Washington, warned Dr. Ouedraogo, Foreign Affairs Minister. But our people are dying while our riches are being plundered, Traoré responded. We cannot remain silent. Colonel Koulibaly, the defense chief, agreed. Our soldiers have fought terrorists funded by these very corporations. If we do nothing, we betray their sacrifice. Traoré made a bold move. Hold an international press conference. The world will know the truth today. CNN, BBC, Al Jazeera, France 24. The international media rushed to Ouagadougou. At exactly 2 p.m., President Traoré faced a sea of cameras. He held up damning evidence, photographs, emails, and intercepted messages. In the past 5 years, American firms have extracted over 200 tons of gold from our soil without taxes or royalties, he stated. The worst, nevertheless, was still to come. Those firms have also funded armed groups that have murdered 847 innocent Burkina civilians, he continued, showing slides of weapons deliveries and secret meetings between U.S. agents and masked insurgents. At the CIA in Washington, panic had set in. The director called Trump. That kid again? Trump sneered. He has documents, sir. Documents that can bring down entire operations. At the White House, Melania Trump's aide burst into her office. You need to see this now. As the video played, Melania's face twisted in horror. One of the photographs showed a man recently spotted at the White House, delivering arms to insurgents in Mali. Oh my God, she gasped. President Traoré held up a second document. These corporations have extracted $2.3 billion worth of resources from Burkina Faso, money that would have built hospitals, schools, and brought clean water to millions. And then came the most explosive moment. An encrypted email appeared on the screen, signed with the initials MT. The world gasped, the same initials as Melania Trump. Melania trembled. That's not mine. I've never seen this, she whispered. But the damage was done. The press storm had begun. Phones rang. Journalists swarmed the White House gates. Online, the hashtag #MelaniaGate exploded. President Trump was briefed in the middle of a meeting. He was livid. Melania doesn't even know where Burkina Faso is. This is a joke. But this was no joke. The world was watching. I demand full investigations, Traoré declared. Burkina Faso must have justice, and the American people must have the truth. Melania said nothing as her attorneys scrutinized the documents. These emails are forged, her lawyer declared, but it will not be easy to disprove it. And with that, the first chapter of a global political earthquake had been written. The timeline didn't match. The email address wasn't official, and Melania had solid alibis for every date mentioned. But Melania knew that in today's world, perception often overshadowed truth. On social media, the hashtag #MelaniaExposed had already surpassed 2.3 million mentions. Conspiracy theories spread like wildfire. Donald Trump stormed into her office, visibly furious. This Burkina kid has gone too far, he snapped. I'm going to destroy his career. No, Melania said. That will only make matters worse. We must announce I'm innocent, not go on the offensive. President Ibrahim received the news in Ouagadougou. He sat down with his aides, carefully following the international response. "Mr. President," said Yakuba, "the press conference has been viewed over 50 million times. It is now the most viewed political event in African history." Dr. Urago voiced his concern. "We may have crossed a line. Making such serious accusations against the U.S. First Lady without rock-solid proof could backfire." Ibrahim hesitated. He had suspected from the beginning that the documents might be too conveniently placed. "We're continuing our investigation," he said. "If the evidence is proven false, we'll issue a full retraction." In Washington, the FBI launched a dedicated task force. The heat on Melania increased. She could not even leave the White House without throngs of reporters. "Mrs. Trump, did you benefit from Burkina Bay gold?" they chanted. She worked in there with her lawyers. "You were at public events or official events on every single date in question," her lawyer David Morrison told her. "There is no possibility you could have been involved." And then a breakthrough. FBI agents discovered that Melania's supposed messages email servers were hacked 2 weeks before Ibrahim's press conference. This suggests that someone planted the documents, Special Agent Jennifer Hayes wrote. In Burkina Faso, meanwhile, Ibrahim received disturbing news. His intelligence chief, Colonel Sawadogo, informed him, "Some of the documents related to Mrs. Trump were fake." "By whom?" Ibrahim asked in shock. "We have evidence that there are foreign agents. There's growing indication that a neighboring country broke into our files and injected false information." Ibrahim was in stunned silence. He knew the seriousness of the mistake. If he had wronged Melania, he owed her a retraction. Politically, in America, Melania was receiving backlashing. Former First Ladies Michelle Obama and Hillary Clinton spoke out in her defense. "Whatever our political differences," Michelle Obama stated, "these claims don't reflect the Melania we know." French President Emmanuel Macron also weighed in. "France has close ties to the Trump family. These claims appear without basis." But the damage had been done. Melania's reputation was tarnished. Her approval rate dropped to 23%, charities pulled out support, and events were canceled. It was a drizzly, gray morning in May when President Ibrahim made a bold move. He conducted another international press conference. Reporters swarmed back into Ouagadougou with no idea what was coming. "Does he have even more evidence against Melania?" CNN's Sarah Johnson asked. Exactly at 3 p.m., Ibrahim stepped into the same press room as the first time, stern-faced. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, "I speak today not to accuse, but to explain. This is about the truth." He paused, then continued. "After scrutinizing, we discovered that some of the evidence we had last week was bogus." There was complete silence in the room. Most notably, the allegations referring Melania Trump for illicit mining operations were fabricated, inserted into our intelligence briefing by outside operatives. Melania watched from the White House, eyes closed in silent relief as she monitored it live. "I want to be as transparent as possible," Ibrahim stated. "Mrs. Trump is absolutely innocent. She was the victim of a coordinated disinformation operation." He provided evidence that agents working with Russia's Wagner Group had infiltrated Burkina Faso's intelligence cadres. Their purpose to tarnish Melania's reputation and create diplomatic tensions between Africa and the United States. "I give my apology to the American public, Mrs. Trump, and the international community," Ibrahim declared. "As president, I take full responsibility for not verifying the documents before release." Donald Trump, watching from the West Wing, smiled. "I told you so," he said. "Melania would never do that." Ibrahim continued. "The other revelations concerning illegal mining and sponsorship of terrorism are true and supported by genuine evidence." Just 2 hours later, Melania did the unthinkable. In defiance of her aides, she entered the White House Rose Garden and stood before the press. "I want to thank President Ibrahim Traoré for having the courage to find the truth and set it straight publicly," she started, her voice steady but with feeling. "Few leaders would own up to a mistake this large." She did not excoriate him. She thanked him. "What happened to me was tragic," she declared. "But what is happening to the Burkina Bay people is worse. If this is true regarding the illegal mining, it must be corrected." Her dignity stunned the world. Even her adversaries acknowledged her dignity and moral strength. In Ouagadougou, Ibrahim listened in silence to her address. "She's a courageous woman," he said to his wife, Ajara. "Something good may come out of all of this." Then the world was surprised once again. Melania Trump announced that she would travel to Burkina Faso to see for herself the reality and look for ways to assist. In Washington, there were some surprised politicians. "Is she being serious?" one senator questioned. But Melania had the support of Donald Trump. Melania's always cared about assisting people. Let her go. The preparations were begun immediately. It would be the first ever visit by an American First Lady to Burkina Faso. President Ibrahim ensured everything was handled with respect. "She was wrong because of us," he said. "We must honor her with dignity." The internet exploded. Josh Melania in Burkina went viral. When Air Force Two landed in Ouagadougou, the streets were filled with cheering crowds. Melania Trump stepped off the plane, radiating calm purpose. President Ibrahim greeted her warmly. "Welcome to Burkina Faso, Mrs. Trump." "Thank you, Mr. President. I'm here to learn and to help." For 3 days, Melania made visits to hospitals, schools, and countryside villages. She talked to children learning English. She listened to mothers talk about access to health care. At one clinic, she held a malnourished child in her arms and vowed, "We will send more medical help." "This moment has transformed me," she declared at a school. "You are deserving of our support." Ibrahim was with her wherever she went. "Our young people are our greatest promise," he added. "We only lack international partners to open their doors of opportunities." On their final day, they signed a historic agreement, the Melania Burkina Foundation, dedicated to providing education for African girls. From a mistake, Melania explained, came the chance to do something that counts. In America, Melania became one of Africa's staunchest champions. She arranged charity galas, spoke before Congress, and established student exchange programs. Her popularity soared from 23% to 71%. In Africa, the honesty of President Ibrahim initiated a new leadership paradigm. Foreign investment flowed in. Billed billions were repaid. Hospitals, schools, and universities were built across Burkina Faso. On a quiet evening, Ibrahim sat with Ajara. "Sometime," he said, "our most egregious mistakes yield the deepest consequences." And in Washington, Melania did too. Her reputation had been tested, but out of the storm came a calling to bring America and Africa together. What began with forged documents ended in true change, solid alliances, and a lesson to the world. Even in darkness, truth and dignity can light the way. If this story resonated with your heart, don't keep it there. Like, share, and subscribe to more impact stories that challenge opinions and ignite change.